Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So continuing with Mahabharata, the great epic of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasadeva, Udyoga Parva, section 93. The Holy One said, that indeed which should be said by a person of great wisdom, that indeed which should be said by one possessed of great foresight, that indeed which should be said by one like thee to a friend like me, that indeed which is deserving of thee, being consistent with virtue and profit and truth, that, O Vidura, hath been said by thee, father and mother alike unto me. That which thou hast told me is certainly true, worthy of approbation and consistent with reason. Listen, however, with attention, O Vidura, to the reason of my coming. Well knowing the wickedness of Dhritarashtra's son and the hostility of the Kshatriyas that have sided with him, I have still, O Vidura, come to the Kurus. Great will be the merit earned by him who will liberate from the meshes of death the whole earth, with her elephants, cars, and steeds, overwhelmed with a dreadful calamity. If a man, striving to the best of his abilities to perform a virtuous act, meets with failure, I have not the least doubt that the merit of that act becomes his, notwithstanding such failure. This also is known to those that are conversant with religion and scripture, that if a person, having intended mentally to commit a sinful act, does not actually commit it, the demerit of that act can never be his. I will sincerely endeavor, O Vidura, to bring about peace between the Kurus and the Sanjayas, who are about to be slaughtered in battle. That terrible calamity which hangs over them all hath its origin in the conduct of the Kurus, for it is directly due to the action of Duryodhana and Karna, the other Kshatriyas only following the lead of these two. The learned regard him to be a wretch who doth not by his solicitation seek to save a friend who is about to sink in calamity, striving to the best of his might, even to the extent of seizing him by the hair, one should seek to dissuade a friend from an improper act. In that case, he that acteth so, instead of incurring blame, reapeth praise. It behoveth Dhritarashtra's son, therefore, O Vidura, with his counselors, to accept my good and beneficial counsels that are consistent with virtue and profit, and competent to dispel the present calamity. I will, therefore, sincerely endeavor to bring about the good of Dhritarashtra's sons and of the Pandavas, as also of all the Kshatriyas on the face of the earth. If, while endeavouring to bring about the good of my friends, Duryodhana judgeth me wrongly, I shall have the satisfaction of my own conscience, and a true friend is one who assumeth the functions of an intercessor when dissensions break out between kinsmen, in order, again, that unrighteousness, foolish and inimical persons, unrighteous, foolish and inimical persons may not afterwards say that though competent, still Krishna did not make any attempt to restrain the angry Kurus and the Pandavas from slaughtering one another. I have come here. Indeed, it is to serve both parties that I have come hither. Having striven to bring about peace, I will escape the censure of all the kings. If, after listening to my auspicious words, fraught with virtue and profit, the foolish Duryodhana accept them not, he will only invite his fate. If, without sacrificing the interests of the Pandavas, I can bring about peace among the Kurus, my conduct will be regarded as highly meritorious. O high-souled one, and the Kauravas themselves will be liberated from the meshes of death. If the sons of Dhritarashtra reflect coolly on the words I shall utter, words fraught with wisdom, consistent with righteousness, and possessed of grave import, then that peace which is my object will be brought about, and the Kauravas will also worship me as the agent thereof. If, on the other hand, they seek to injure me, I tell thee that all the kings of the earth united together are no match for me, like a herd of deer incapable of standing before an enraged lion. Vaishampayana continued, having said these words, that bull of the Vrishni race and delighter of the Yadavas then laid himself down on his soft bed for sleep. Section 94. Vaishampayan said, in such conversation between those two distinguished persons, both of whom were endued with great intelligence, that night, lit with bright stars, passed away. Indeed, the night passed away against the wishes of the illustrious Vidura, who had been listening to the varied conversation of Krishna, fraught with virtue, profit, and desire, and made up of delightful words and syllables of agreeable import, and also those of Krishna himself of immeasurable prowess, listening to discourses equal in style and character. Then, at early dawn, a band of choristers and bards, gifted with melodious voices, awoke Keshava with sweet sounds of conches and cymbals, and rising from bed, Janardana of Dasarha's race, that bull among the Sattvatas, went through all the customary acts of the morning, and having cleansed himself by a bath, recited the sacred mantras and poured libations of clarified butter on the sacrificial fire. Madhava decked his person and began to worship the rising sun. And while the unvanquished Krishna of Dasarha's race was still engaged in his morning devotions, Duryodhana and Subala's son Sakuni came to him and said, Dhritarashtra is seated in his court with all the Kurus headed by Bhishma and with all the kings of the earth. They are all soliciting thy presence, O Govinda, like the celestials in heaven desiring the presence of Shakra himself. Thus addressed, Govinda greeted them both with sweet and courteous inquiries. And when the sun had risen a little higher, Janardana, that chastiser of foes, summoning a number of Brahmins, made them presents of gold and robes and kine and steeds. And after, he had thus given away much wealth and taken his seat, his driver, Daruka, came and saluted that unvanquished hero of Dasarha's race. And Daruka soon returned with his master's large and blazing car, furnished with rows of tinkling bells and harnessed with excellent steeds. And understanding that his handsome car, adorned with every ornament and producing a rattle deep as the rumbling of the mighty masses of clouds, was ready, the high-souled Janardana, that delighter of all the Yadavas, walking round the sacred fire and a band of Brahmanas, and putting on the gem known by the name of Kaustuba, and blazing with beauty, surrounded by the Kurus and well protected by the Vrishnis mounted on it. And Vidura, conversant with all the precepts of religion, followed on his own car, that scion of Dasarha's race, that foremost of all living creatures, that first of all persons gifted with intelligence. And Duryodhana and Subala's son Sakuni also on one car followed Krishna, the chastiser of foes. And Satyaki and Kritavarma and the other mighty car warriors of the Vrishni race all rode behind Krishna on cars and steeds and elephants. And, O king, the handsome cars of those heroes, adorned with gold and drawn by excellent steeds, and each producing a loud rattle as they moved forward, shone brilliantly. And Keshava, endued with great intelligence and beaming with beauty, soon came upon a broad street that had previously been swept and watered, and that was fit to be used by the highest of kings. And when that scion of Dasarha's race set out, cymbals began to play, and conches began to be blown, and other instruments also to pour forth their music. And great number of youthful heroes, foremost in the world for heroism, and possessed of lion-like prowess, proceeded surrounding Sauri's car. And many thousands of soldiers, attired in variegated dresses, bearing swords and lances and axes, marched in advance of Keshava. And there were full 500 elephants and cars by thousands that followed that unvanquished hero of Dasarha's race while he proceeded. And, O chastiser of foes, all the citizens of the capital, of all ages and both sexes, desirous of beholding Janardana, came out into the streets, and the terraces and balconies of the houses were so thronged by ladies that the houses were on the point of falling down with the weight. And worshipped by the Kurus, and listening to the various sweet speeches, and returning the greetings of all as each deserved, Keshava went along the street, casting his eyes on all. And at last, when Keshava reached the Kuru court, his attendants loudly blew their conches and trumpets, and filled the welkin with that blare. And thereupon that whole assembly of kings, of immeasurable prowess, trembled with delight at the expectation of soon setting their eyes on Krishna. And hearing the rattle of his car that rumbled like the deep roll of the rain-charged clouds, the monarchs understood Krishna to be near, and the hair of their bodies stood erect with delight. And having reached the gate of the court, Sauri, that bull among the Sattvatas, alighting from his car that resembled the summit of Kailasha, entered the court, which looked like a mass of newly risen clouds, and blazed forth with beauty, and resembled the very abode of the great Indra. And that illustrious hero entered the court, arm in arm with Vidura and Satyaki on either side. and overshadowing with his own the splendor of all the Kurus, like the sun overshadowing the radiance of the lesser lights in the firmament. And before Vasudev sat Karna and Duryodhana, while behind him were seated the Vrishnis with Kritavarma, and Bhishma and Drona and others with Dhritarashtra were on the point of rising up from their seats and honoring Janardana. Indeed, as soon as he of Dasara's race came, the illustrious Drona and Bhishma all rose up from their seats. And when that mighty ruler of men, King Dhritarashtra, rose up from his seat, those kings by thousands around him all rose up also. And at Dhritarashtra's command, a seat, beautiful all over and adorned with gold, had been kept there for Krishna. And after taking his seat, Madhava smilingly greeted the king, and Bhishma, and Drona, and all other rulers, each according to his age. And all the kings of the earth, and all the Kurus also, beholding Keshava arrived in that assembly, worshipped him duly. And as that chastiser of foes, that vanquisher of hostile cities, that hero of Dasarha's race was seated there, he beheld the Rishis, whom he had seen while proceeding to Hastinapur, staying in the firmament. And beholding those Rishis with Narada at their head, he of Dasarha's race slowly addressed Bhishma, the son of Shantanu, saying, O king, the Rishis have come to see this earthly conclave of ours. Invite them with offer of seats and abundant courtesy, for if they are not seated, no one here is capable of taking his seat. Let proper worship, therefore, be speedily offered unto these Rishis, with souls under proper control. And beholding the Rishis, then at the gate of the palace, Shantanu's son quickly ordered the servants to bring seats for them. And soon enough they brought large and beautiful seats, embroidered with gold and set with gems. And after the Rishis, O Bharata, had taken their seats and accepted the argyas offered to them, Krishna took his seat, so also all the kings. And Dushasana gave an excellent seat to Satyaki, while Vivimsati gave another golden one to Kritavarma. And not far from where Krishna sat, that illustrious and wrathful pair, Karna and Duryodhana, sat together in the same seat. And Sakuni, the king of Gandhara, surrounded by the chiefs of his country, sat there. O king, with his son beside him, and the high-souled Vidura sat on a begemmed seat covered with a white deerskin that almost touched Krishna's seat. And all the kings in the assembly, although they gazed at Janardana of Dasarha's race for a long while, were not, however, gratified with their gaze, like drinkers of Amrita that are never satiated with quaffing measure after measure. And Janardana, attired in yellow robes, having the complexion of the atasi flower, which is flax, sat in the midst of that assembly like a sapphire mounted on gold. And after Govinda had taken his seat, a perfect silence ensued, for none present there spoke a single word. I'll read one more, and then someone else can have it. Section XCV, that's 95. Vaishampayana said, and after all the kings had been seated, perfect silence had ensued. Krishna, possessing fine teeth and having a voice deep as that of the drum, began to speak. And Madhava, although he addressed Dhritarashtra, spoke in a voice deep as the roll of clouds in the rainy season, making the whole assembly hear. And he said, in order that O Bharata, peace may be established between the Kurus and the Pandavas without the slaughter of the heroes. I have come hither. Besides this, O king, I have no other beneficial words to utter. O chastiser of foes, everything that should be learnt in this world is already known to thee. This thy race, O king, owing to its learning and behavior, and owing also to its being adorned with every accomplishment, is most distinguished among all royal dynasties. Joy in the happiness of others, grief at the sight of other people's misery, desire to alleviate distress, abstention from injury, sincerity, forgiveness, and truth. These, O Bharata, prevail among the Kurus. Then thy race, therefore, O king, is so noble, it would be a pity if anything improper were done by anyone belonging to it, and greater pity still if it were done by thee. O chief of the Kurus, thou art the first of those that should restrain the Kurus if they behave deceitfully towards strangers or those numbering with themselves. Know, O thou of Kuru's race, that those wicked sons of thine, headed by Duryodhana, abandoning both virtue and profit, disregarding morality, and deprived of their senses by avarice, are now acting most unrighteously towards, O bull of men, their foremost of kinsmen. That terrible danger which threatens all hath its origin in the conduct of the Kurus. If thou becomest indifferent to it, it will then produce an universal slaughter. If, O Bharata, thou art willing, thou mayest be able to allay that danger even yet. For, O bull of the Bharata's race, peace, I think, is not difficult of acquisition. The establishment of peace, O king, depends on thee and myself, O monarch. Set right thy sons, O thou of Kuru's race, and I will set the Pandavas right. Whatever be thy command, O king, it behoveth thy sons with their followers to obey it. If again they live in obedience to thee, that would be the very best they could do. If thou strivest for peace by restraining thy sons, it will be to thy profit, O king, as also to the benefit of the Pandavas. Having reflected carefully, act thou thyself, O king. Let those sons of Bharata, the Pandavas, be, O ruler of men, thy allies. Supported by the Pandavas, O king, seek thou both religion and profit. By every exertion in thy power, thou canst not have, O king, such allies as they who are such. Protected by the illustrious sons of Pandu, Indra himself at the head of the celestials will not be able to vanquish thee. How would it be possible then for mere earthly kings to withstand thy prowess? If with Bhishma and Drona and Kripa and Karna and Vivimsati and Ashwatthama, Vikarna and Somadatta and Vallika and the chief of the Sindhus and the ruler of the Kalingas and Sudakshina, king of the Kambojas. There were Yudhishthira and Bhimasena and Savyasachin and the twins. And if Satyaki of the mighty energy and Yuyutsu, that mighty car warrior, are stationed, who is there, O bull of the Bharata's race, of such misdirected intelligence that would fight these? If, O slayer of foes, thou hast both the Kurus and the Pandavas at thy back, the sovereignty of the whole world, and invincibility before all foes will be thine. All the rulers of the earth, O monarch, that are either equal to thee or superior, will then seek alliance with thee, protected on all sides by sons, grandsons, fathers, brothers, and friends. Thou wilt then be able to live in exceeding happiness, keeping these before thee and treating them with kindness as in days of yore. Thou, O monarch, wilt enjoy the sovereignty of the whole earth. With these as thy supporters, and with the sons of Pandu also, thou wilt, O Bharata, be able to conquer all thy foes. Even this thy best advantage. Even this is thy best advantage. If, O chastiser of foes, thou art united with thy sons and kinsmen and counsellors, thou wilt enjoy sovereignty of the whole earth, won for thee by them. In battle, O great king, nothing but wholesale destruction is visible. Indeed, in the destruction of both the parties, what merit dost thou see? If the Pandavas are slaughtered in battle, or if thy own mighty sons fall, tell me, O bull of Bharata's race, what happiness wilt thou enjoy? All of them are brave, skilled in weapons. All of them are desirous of battle. The Pandavas, as also thy sons. Oh, save them from the terrible danger that threatens them. After the battle, thou wilt not behold all the Kurus or all the Pandavas, Ka warriors. Thou wilt not behold all the Kurus or all the Pandavas, Ka warriors slain by Ka warriors. Thou wilt behold the heroes of both parties reduced in numbers and strength. All the rulers of the earth, O best of kings, have been assembled together, inflamed with wrath. They will certainly exterminate the population of the earth. Save, O king, the world. Let not the population of the earth be exterminated. O son of Kuru's race, if thou regainest thy natural disposition, the earth may continue to be peopled as now. Save, O king, these monarchs who are all of pure descent, endued with modesty and liberality, piety, and connected with one another in bonds of relationship or alliance, from the terrible danger that threatens them. Abandoning wrath and enmity, O chastiser of foes, let these kings, embracing one another in peace, eating and drinking with one another, dressed in excellent robes and decked with garlands, and doing courtesies to one another, return to their respective homes. Let the affection thou hadst for the Pandavas be revived in thy bosom, and let it, O bull of the Bharata's race, lead to the establishment of peace. Deprived of their father while they were infants, they were brought up by thee. Cherish them now as becomes thee, O bull of Bharata's race, as if they were thy own sons. It is thy duty to protect them, and especially it is so when they are distressed. O bull of Bharata's race, let not thy virtue and profit be both lost. Saluting and propitiating thee, the Pandavas have said unto thee, at thy command we have, with our followers, suffered great misery. For these 12 years we have lived in the woods, and for the 13th year we have lived incognito in an uninhabited part of the world. We broke not our pledge, firmly believing that our Father would also abide by his. That we violated not our word is well known to the Brahmanas who were with us. And as we, O bull of the Bharata race, have abided by our promise, also do thou abide by thine. Long have we suffered the great misery, but let us now have our share of the kingdom. Fully conversant as thou art with virtue and profit, it behooveth thee to rescue us. Knowing that our obedience is due to thee, we have quietly undergone much misery. Behave thou then unto us like a father or brother. A preceptor should behave as a preceptor towards his disciples, and as disciples, we are willing to behave as such towards thee, our preceptor. Act thou, therefore, towards us as a preceptor should. If we go wrong, it is the duty of our Father to set us right. Therefore, set us on the way, and tread thou also the excellent path of righteousness. These sons of thine, O bull of the Bharata race, have also said unto these kings assembled in the court these words. If the members of an assembly are conversant with morality, nothing improper should be permitted by them to happen. Where, in the presence of the virtuous members of an assembly, righteousness is sought to be overpowered by unrighteousness and truth by untruth, it is those members themselves that are vanquished and slain. When righteousness, pierced by unrighteousness, seeketh the protection of an assembly, if the arrow is not extracted, it is the members themselves that are pierced by that arrow. Indeed, in that case, righteousness slayeth the members of that assembly like a river eating away the roots of the trees on its bank.
Wow.
Judge now, O bull of the Bharata race. The Pandavas, with their eyes turned towards righteousness and reflecting on everything, are maintaining a calm attitude, and what they have said is consistent with truth and virtue and justice. O ruler of men, what canst thou say unto them, but that thou art willing to give them back their kingdom? Let those rulers of the earth that are sitting here say what the answer should be. If it appears to thee that what I have said after reflecting well on the virtue to be true, save all these Kshatriyas, O bull of the Bharata race, from the meshes of death. Effect peace, O chief of the Bharata's race, and yield not to anger. Giving unto the Pandavas their just share of the paternal kingdom. Enjoy thou then with thy sons, O chastiser of foes, happiness and luxury, thy wishes being all crowned with success. Know that Yudhisthira always treadeth the path that is trod by the righteous. Thou knowest also, O king, what the behavior of Yudhisthira is towards thee and thy sons. Although thou hadst sought to burn him to death and hadst exiled him from human habitation, yet he came back and once more reposed confidence in thee. Again, didst thou with thy sons banish him to Indraprastha, while there he brought all the kings of the earth to subjection, and yet looked up to thy face, O king, without seeking to disregard thee. Although he behaved in this way, yet Subala's son, desirous of robbing him of his dominions and wealth and possessions, applied the very efficacious means of dice. Reduced to that condition, and even beholding Krishna dragged into the assembly, Yudhisthira, of immeasurable soul, did not yet swerve from the duties of a Kshatriya. As regards myself, I desire, O Bharata, thy good as also theirs, for the sake of virtue, for profit, of happiness. Make peace, O king, and do not allow the earth's population to be slaughtered, regarding evil as good and good as evil. Restrain thy sons, O monarch, who have from covetousness proceeded too far. As regards the sons of Pritha, they are equally ready to wait upon thee in dutiful service or to fight. That which, O chastiser of foes, seems to thee to be for thy good, do thou adopt. Vaishampayana continued. All the rulers of the earth there present highly applauded these words of Keshava within their hearts, but none of them ventured to say anything in the presence of Duryodhana. So, Kane, do you know where we are?
That was so good. What page are we on? On the Debroy one.
Did
Because
you
I'm
go
not.
through it
The
now?
Debroy
No,
one, it
no, it's
should
you,
be
can I? It's you can it's your
okay.
guide. I
I
want
think
to.
it would be chapter 757, page 413 in Debroy's edition.
Wow, that's a lot. You read a lot. It was really, really, really good. God. Da 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 da.
Okay, I'll disappear and make a copy.
413, I think, page. That can I?
Yes,
Is that is
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
413, chapter 757, part 94.
Okay.
Have to hurry you.
I'm just about to start. Chapter 757, part 94. Vaishampayana said, when the great sword Keshava spoke these words, all those who were in the assembly hall sat immobile in their seats, their body hair standing up. No man present ventured to voice a reply. All the kings thought in their hearts. All the kings there remained silent. Jamadagni's son, Parashuram, then spoke these words in that assembly of the Kurus. O king, listen to the example that I am going to cite. Do not entertain any doubt about it not being true. When you have heard it, if you so think fit, decide on what is best for you. In earlier times, there was a king named Dambodbhava. Dambodbhava. He conquered the entire earth. We have heard that he enjoyed the entire earth. When night had passed, this valorous Maharata would always awake in the morning and ask Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, is there anyone, a Shudra, a Vaishya, a Kshatriya, or a Brahmana who wields weapons, who is my equal or superior in battle? Saying this, the king roamed round the earth. He was so intoxicated with great insolence that he thought of no one else. There were noble and learned Brahmanas who feared nothing. They cautioned the king against his repeated expressions of pride. But though he was forbidden, that wicked one kept questioning those Brahmanas. He was vain and intoxicated with his prosperity. Those great-souled Brahmanas were ascetics. They observed the vows of the Vedas. Blazing with anger, they told the insolent king, there are two lions among men who have fought in battles in many lives. O king, there is no way that you will be their equal. Having been thus addressed, the king again asked those Brahmanas, where are those brave ones? Where have they been born? What are their deeds? Who are they? The Brahmanas replied, we have heard that they are the two ascetics, Nara and Narayana. They have come to this world of men, O king. Fight with them. It is said that the great soul Nara and Narayana are, are tormenting themselves with great austerities in some undetermined region of Gandhamadana. Rama said, the king gathered a large army with 6 divisions. He intolerantly marched to where those unvanquished ones dwelt. He went to the uneven and terrible Mount Gandhamadana. He advanced, looking for those two unvanquished ascetics. He saw those supreme among men, lean from hunger and thirst, their veins holding them together. They were afflicted by the cold, the wind, and the heat. He approached them, touched their feet, and asked about their welfare. They honored the king with fruits, a seat, and water, and asked him, "What can be done for you?" Dambodbava replied, "The earth has been conquered with my arms, and all the enemies have been slain. I have now come to this mountain, wishing to fight with you. Grant that to me as a mark of hospitality. I have desired this for a long time." Narayana said, "O supreme among kings, anger and avarice have been banished from this hermitage. There are no fights in this hermitage. Where are the weapons and where is the malice? Go and desire fight elsewhere. There are many Kshatriyas on earth." Though spoken to in this way, he kept on insisting, "O descendant of the Bharata lineage," they refused and repeatedly tried to placate him. But Dambodbava was eager to fight and challenge the ascetics. "O Kodava," Nara then picked up some blades of grass in his fist and told him, "O Kshatriya, you desire to fight? Come and fight. Bring all your weapons and prepare your army. From now onwards I will destroy your love for war forever." Dambodbava replied, "O ascetic, if you think that is enough of a weapon to be used against us, then I will fight with you. I have come here desiring a fight." Having said this, desiring to kill the ascetic with his army, Dambodbava enveloped him from all directions with a shower of arrows. Those terrible arrows were capable of piercing the bodies of others, but the sage repulsed them all with his blades of grass. Then the unvanquished one released a blade of grass as a terrible weapon. It was incapable of being countered, and an extraordinary event took place. Through the power of Maya, the sage used that blade of grass to slice off the eyes, ears, and noses of the soldiers. The king saw that the sky was white with these blades of grass. He fell down at Nara's feet and prayed for salvation. Nara is a safe sanctuary for those who desire it. He told the king who had sought refuge, "Have the qualities of a Brahmana, have Dharma in your soul, and do not act in this way again. Overcome by insolence, do not ever insult anyone again, whether he is inferior or superior. O king, that will ensure your supreme welfare. Obtain wisdom, overcome avarice, be without vanity, have control over your soul, be self-controlled and forgiving, be gentle and peaceful, O king, protect your subjects. You have our leave to go. Be fortunate. Do not act in this way again. On our request, ask the Brahmanas about their welfare." Then the king bowed down before the feet of those great souled ones. He returned to his own city and accumulated a lot of dharma. The deed accomplished by Nara in ancient times was great, but Narayana was superior to him because of his many qualities. O king, therefore discard your vanity and go to Dhananjaya before a weapon has been affixed to Gandiva, the best of bows. He possesses Kakudika, Shuka, Naka, Akshisamtarjana, Santana, Nartana, Gora, and Ajamodaka as the eighth. Footnote. These are the names of divine weapons, but beyond this, it is difficult to identify them. Kagudika has an etymology in hump and was probably used against animals, while Shuka was named after a parrot. Naka means heaven. Akshishamtarjana hurt the eye. Santana was a weapon that was shot continuously. Nartana made people dance. Gora means terrible. That's Gora, Ghora. While Ajamodaka was probably connected to Yama. End of footnote. All men who are pierced by these confront their death, or move around insane, or lose their senses and become unconscious, or go to sleep. or jump around, or vomit, or urinate, or incessantly cry and laugh. Partha's qualities are innumerable, and Janardana is superior to him. You have known him as Kunti's son Dhananjaya, O great king, but know that Nara and Narayana are Arjuna and Keshava, brave warriors and bulls among men. If you know this, do not harbor any suspicions about me, O descendant of the Bharata lineage. Be an Arya in your resolution, and make peace with the Pandavas. O best of the Bharata lineage, if you think it best, there should not be any discord with you. Strive for peace and do not set your mind on war. O best of the Kuru lineage, your lineage is extremely revered on earth. O fortunate one, let it continue to be that way. Think about what is best for you. Chapter 758, Part 95. Vaishampayana said, having heard the words of Jamadagni's son, the illustrious Rishi Kanva addressed these words to Duryodhana in the midst of the assembly of the Kurus. Brahma, the grandfather of the world, is eternal and without decay. The illustrious Rishis Nara and Narayana are like that. Among all the Adityas, Vishnu alone is eternal, without birth, without end, and the eternal Lord and God. The others, the moon, the sun, the earth, the water, the wind, the fire, the sky, the planet, and the stars, are subject to death. When there is the final dissolution of the universe, all of them give up the three worlds and are created again and again. There are others who die in an instant. Men, animals, birds, and those which are born in inferior species. As a footnote for this, such as insects. End of footnote. Inhabiting the world of the living. Having enjoyed their great prosperity, kings are destroyed by age. They confront death and enjoy their good deeds and bad deeds. Therefore, you should have peace with Dharma's son. Let the Pandavas and the Kurus rule the earth. O Suyoddhana, you should not think that you are strong. O bull among men, 'tis the strong who decide that others are strong. O Kaurava, among those who are strong, it is not strength alone that makes them strong. All the Pandavas are strong because of the valor of the gods. In this context, an ancient story is told about Matali when he searched for a suitor to whom he could give his daughter away. The Lord of the Three Worlds, footnote Indra, has a charioteer named Matali. A single daughter was born in his lineage. She was famous in the worlds because of her beauty. She was as beautiful as a goddess and was famous by the name of Gunakeshi. She surpassed all other women in her beauty and form, O king. Knowing that the time had arrived, together with his wife, Matali decided to give her away and thought about the matter. In families of men who are weighty, virtuous, prosperous, famous, gentle, and spirited, the growing up of a daughter is deplorable. The mother's family, the father's family, and the one into which the daughter is given, these three families are afflicted. I have used the eye of my mind to search in the two worlds of gods and men, but there is no one who satisfies me as a suitor. Among gods, Daityas, Gandharvas, men, and the many rishis, no one is suitable as a groom. Yeah, the footnote is saying these are Matali's thoughts. In the night, Matali discussed this with his wife Sudharma and decided to travel to the world of the serpents, Nagas. As a groom, I do not see anyone in the worlds of gods and men who is equal to Gunakeshi in beauty, but there is certain to be one among the serpents. There's a footnote here, it says these are Matali's words. In the footnote. Having discussed in this way with Sudharma, he circumambulated her, and having inhaled the fragrance of his daughter's head, entered the earth. I think, yes, chapter 759. I'm just thinking I might read up onto 761 or 762.
Okay, okay. You tell me when and I'm following, so I'll carry on.
Okay, cool. So Kanva said, so Kanva's this sage rishi talking to Duryodhana, the story of Matali. When Matali was traveling along the road, he met Maharishi Narada. Because he so desired, he was going to see Varuna. Narada asked, "Where are you going, O charioteer? Is it on your own task or on the instructions of Shatakratu?" Being questioned by Narada, who was traveling along the same road towards Varuna, Matali told him everything about his own objective. The sage told him, "Let us travel together. I have myself descended from heaven to see the Lord of Waters." That's Varuna. "I will tell you everything when we see the nether regions of the earth, O Matali. After having searched there, we will approve of a suitable groom." Matali and Narad immersed themselves in the nether regions of the earth. The great souled ones saw the guardian of the world, who was the Lord of the waters. There, Narada received the homage due to a Devarshi, and Matali also received honors due to the great Indra. In a happy frame of mind, they told Varuna about their task, and having taken his leave, went to the world of the serpents. Narada knew everything about all the beings who dwelt in the nether regions of the earth, and described everything in detail to his companion. Narada said, "O son, you have now seen Varuna surrounded by his sons and grandsons. Now behold the regions of the Lord of the Waters. They are fortunate and prosperous in every way. This immensely wise one is the son of Varuna, the Lord of the cows. He is specially distinguished because of his good conduct and purity. This is his beloved son Pushkara, whose eyes are like lotuses. He is beautiful and handsome and has been chosen by Soma's daughter as her husband. She is famous by the name of Jyotsnakali, and she is second only to Shri in her beauty. Shri is Lakshmi. It has been said that this son of a cow has been made the eldest son of Aditya himself. So this is in the footnote, Gopati, the lord of the cows, is a term used for the son. Well, Indra, Krishna, and Shiva and Varuna. As a son of Aditi, Varuna is also Aditya. All that is being said is that Pushkara is Varuna's eldest son, and there is a suggestion that he was adopted. End of footnote. Huh?
No, no. Can I just add to the footnote?
Yeah, yeah, please.
Gopati means Lord of Cows, but also in this context, Go means rays of light. So
Oh, yeah.
that's why the sun is sometimes Gopati, because they're the master of rays of light, not
Mm,
cows. Anyway, carry
no, that's really good to know. Um, Behold Varuni's abode. So this Narad still speaking to Matali. Mm. Behold Varuni's abode. It is constructed out of gold everywhere, O friend of the Lord of the gods. By obtaining this, the gods obtained their divinity. O Matali, you can see all those radiant weapons. They belong to the Daityas, who were ousted from the kingdom. Since they are indestructible, they still remain. O Matali, they were conquered by the gods and require great power to be used. O Matali, there are many species of Rakshasas and many species of Bhutas here. They possessed divine weapons that had been constructed by the gods earlier. There is a great fire here, a fire that was created in Varuna's lake. There's, there is also Vishnu's chakra, surrounded by a fire without smoke. This is the bow Gandiva, created for the destruction of the world. Because it is always protected by the gods, the bow is known by the name of Gandiva. When the time for action has arrived, it is always certain that it has the strength of 100,000 breaths of life. It chastises and brings under its control kings who are allied with the Rakshasas. This is the staff first created by Brahma, imbibed with knowledge of the Brahman. This is a great weapon for Indras among men, and has been pronounced to be that by the great Chakra. The sons of the Lord of the Waters bear this great weapon. This is the umbrella. The sons of the Lord of the Waters bear this great weapon. This is the umbrella of the King of the Waters, and is kept in the room reserved for umbrellas. Like a cloud, it showers cold waters everywhere. The water that showers from this umbrella is as pure as the moon, but it is enveloped in darkness, and nothing can be seen. Oh, Matali, there are many extraordinary sights here, but because of the task you have to accomplish, let us quickly leave this spot. We would like to
Okay.
take, yes, you're
Yes.
taking over, Mitsuru.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Continuing. 76097 on page 419 of the Big Debroy's edition. Narada said, "This city is located in the navel of the world of the serpents. This is known as Patala and is frequented by Daityas and the Danavas. Living beings and immobile objects, living beings and immobile objects are washed down here by the waters and enter, uttering loud noises because they are oppressed by fear. Feeding on the water, the fire known as Asura always blazes forth here, but it knows its own restrictions and keeps to its limits. Having killed their enemies, the gods drunk the Amrita here and kept the remnants. It is from here that the waxing and waning of the moon can be witnessed. At every conjunction of time, it is from here that the divine Hayashira arises." Wow. Hayashira means the head shearer of the horse, the subterranean fire as is in the form of a mare's head. Okay. Take our word for it. It is golden in complexion and fills the universe with water. All the objects that have the form of water fall down here. Therefore, this supreme region is famous by the name of Patala, which means from Patana, meaning falling down or caused to fall down. There you know. Get it now. For the welfare of the universe, it is from here that Airavata accepts the water and sprinkles it on the clouds. The great Indra then showers this down as rain. Now we all understand how it comes. Many kinds of aquatic creatures in diverse shapes and forms dwell there. They roam in the water, drinking the water, which is like the rays of the moon. O charioteer, during the day, some inhabitants of the nether regions of Patala are pierced by the rays of the sun and die. They are revived again at night. The moon rises every day, enveloped in its rays. It touches the Amrita and revives the beings with this touch. The Daityas dwell there, addicted to Adharma. Vasava has robbed them of their prosperity, and they are tied down here, oppressed by destiny. Maheshwara, the lord of all beings and famous by the name of Bhutapati, performed severe austerities here for the welfare of all beings. The Brahmanas, who observe the rites of the cow, dwell here. They are Maharshis, devoted to studying and teaching. They have given up their lives and have conquered heaven. A person who lives anywhere, feeds on anything, and wears anything. He is said to observe the rite of the cow. Airavata, the king of elephants, Vamana, Kumuda, Anjana, supreme among elephants, were born in the lineage of Supratika. Look here and see if there is a groom who appeals to you because of his qualities. Oh, Matili, we will then go to him and make efforts to choose him as a groom. There is an egg that is placed in these waters. It blazes with its radiance and has been here since the time when beings were created. It is not shattered, nor does it move. I've never heard the story about its birth or creation. No one knows about its mother or father. Oh, Matali, at the time of destruction, it is said that a gigantic fire arises from it and consumes all the three worlds with their mobile and immobile objects. Kanda said, on hearing what Narada had said, Matali replied, there is no one here who appeals to me. Let us swiftly go somewhere else. After all that. 76198. Narada said, this supreme and excellent city is known as Hiranyapura of the Daityas and the Dandavas. Sorry. Narada said, this supreme and excellent city is known as Hiranyapura of the Daityas and the Dandavas, who roam around with 100 different kinds of Maya. Maya fashioned it in his mind, and Vishvakarma created it with a great deal of effort. It was placed in the nether regions of Patala. Having been granted a boon in ancient times, the brave and greatly energetic Danavas lived here, practicing 1,000 different kinds of Maya. Chakra, or Varuna, or Yama, or the Lord of Riches, or any of the others could not control them. The Asuras, known as the Kalakanjas, were created from Vishnu's feet. The Nairidhas and the Yatudhanas were created from Brahma's altar. They had teeth and terrible forms and were valorous with the speed of the wind. They were endowed with the prowess of Maya. They lived here, and protected themselves. The Danavas, named Nivata Kavachas, were invincible in battle. You know that even Chakra was incapable of restraining them. Oh, Matili, you yourself, together with your son, Gomukha, have repeatedly been shattered by them, and also the king of the gods, such as consort, together with his son. Oh, Matali, behold those mansions constructed out of gold and silver. They have been designed and constructed with diverse kinds of wonderful artisanship. They have green lapis lazuli, red coral, white coral that is like the sun, and radiant diamonds. They shine like the earth, mountains or rocks, and seem to be like the stars. They are as radiant as the sun and like a blazing fire. They have colourful nets, jewels, and a tall, standing close to one another. It is impossible to describe their forms, constituents, and qualities. They are large and possess all the qualities. Look at the sporting grounds of the Daityas and their beds. The vessels and the seats are bejeweled and extremely expensive. Look at the mountains, which are like clouds with currents of water flowing down of them, and the trees that can move around at will and provide blossoms and fruit one desires. Oh, Matali, is there anyone here who appeals to you as a groom? Or, if you so wish, let us go towards some other direction on earth. Comfort said, Matali then spoke to the one who had addressed him in this way. Oh, Devarshi, I do not wish to do anything that causes displeasure to the denizens of heaven. Though the gods and the Danavas are brothers, they are always engaged in enmity. I cannot find pleasure in an alliance with the enemy's party. It is better that we should go somewhere else. I should not look at the Danavas. I know this of myself. I wish to give that lotus away. 76299. Narada said, this is the world of the Suparnas. They are birds which kill serpents. They are not exhausted in their valor, in traveling or in bearing loads. O charioteer, this is the lineage that has descended from the 6 sons of Vinata's son, Garuda. Sumukha, Sunamba, Sunetra, Suvarchasa, Sarupa, the king of the birds, and Subala. There were hundreds and thousands who were born and reared in Vinata's lineage, born in the lineage of the king of the birds. They were born in Kashyapa's lineage and extended it. All of them are endowed with prosperity. All of them are marked by the Srivatsa sign. All of them aspire for good fortune and bear strength. They are Kshatras in their deeds and are ruthless in feeding on serpents. Because they destroy their relatives, they never attain the status of Brahmanas. Oh, Matali, listen, I will recount the names of the foremost ones to you. This lineage is extremely revered because it is favored by Vishnu. Vishnu is their god, and Vishnu is their refuge. Vishnu is always in their hearts. Vishnu is always their objective. There are Suravanachuda, Nagashi, Daruna, Chanda, Tundaka, Anala, Anila, Vishalaksha, Kundali, Kashyapi, Dwaja Vishkavakamba, Vainateya, Vamana, Vatavega, Dishachakaitsu, Nimisha, Tivara, Saptavara, Valmiki, Divipika, Daichavi, Dvipa, Saradipa, Sarasa, Padmaka, Keshara, Samukha, Sukaketu, Chitrabahu, Anagaha, Megakrita, Kumuda, Daksha, Sarapanta, Somabhojana, Kuruvara, Kaputa, Surya Netra, Chirantaka, Vishnudanda, Kumara, Paribhava, Harita, Sushva, Madhuparka, Hemavarna, Malaya, Satrashiva, Nishakara, and Divakara. I have recounted Garuda's descendants only as examples. They are the foremost ones in fame and deeds and spirit. O Matili, if none of these appeals to you, let us proceed. I will take you to a region where you may find what you are looking for. Does anybody want to take over now? Guna? Dina? Guna? Hello?
Hello?
Hello there. Yeah, you are. Yeah. You have to turn the camera around a bit. Yeah. You're on the side.
That
You're
okay?
on the side. No, no, you're on the side, Guna. You're upside down. You're
Sideways.
yeah, yeah.
And go down.
Is that better?
Much better. Yeah, yeah, there, yeah. Yeah, and you're in the center. It's good. Okay, jolly good. Off you go. Haribol.
Oh. Okay, so I'm back in Ganguli's Mahabharata, and I'm on section 102. Narada said, the region where we now are is called Rasatala and is the 7th stratum below the earth. Here dwelleth Surabhi, the mother of all kine, she who was born of the Amrita. She always yieldeth milk, which is the essence of all the best things of the earth, and which, excellent as it is, and of one taste, springeth from the essence of the 6 different kinds of tastes that are talked of. The faultless Surabhi herself sprang in days of old from the mouth of the grandsire, gratified with drinking the Amrita and vomiting the best things, a single jet only of her milk falling on the earth created what is known as the sacred and the excellent Milky Ocean. The verge of that ocean all round is always covered with white foam, resembling a bout of flowers. Those best of ascetics that are known by the name of the foam drinkers dwell around this ocean, subsisting on that foam only. They are called foam drinkers because they live, O Matterly, on nothing else save that foam. Engaged in the practice of the severest of austerities, the very gods are known to fear them. From her are born 4 other kine, O Matterly, supporting the 4 quarters, and therefore are they called the supporters of the quarters, Dikpali. Born of Surabi herself, she who supporteth the eastern quarter is called Surupa. She who supporteth the southern quarter is called Hansika. That illustrious cow, O Matterly, of universal form, who supporteth the western quarter, ruled by Varuna, is known by the name of Subhadra. The northern quarter, comprising the region of virtue, and called after Kuvera, the lord of treasures, is supported by the cow named Sava Kamagduga. The gods, uniting with the Asuras and making the Mandara mountain their pole, churned the waters of the ocean and obtained the wine called Varuni. And the goddess of prosperity and grace called Lakshmi, and Amrita, and that prince of steeds called Ucheshwara, and that best of gems called Kaustuba. Those waters, O Matterly, that yielded these precious things had all been mixed with the milk of these 4 cows. As regards Surabi, the milk she yielded becometh Swaha unto those that live on Swaha, Swada unto those that live on Swada, and Amrita unto those that live on Amrita. The couplet that was sung by the dwellers of Rasatala in days of old is still heard to be recited in the world by the persons of learning. That couplet is this: neither in the region of the Nagas, nor in Swaga, nor in Vimana, nor in Tripishtapa is residence so happy as in Rasatala. Section 103. Narada said, this foremost of cities that thou beholdest, and which resembles the Amaravati of the chief of the celestials himself, is known by the name of Bhogavati. It is ruled over by Vasuki, the king of the Nagas. That Shesha dwelleth here, who, in consequence of his ascetic austerities of the foremost order, is able to support this earth with all her vastness. His body is like that of a white mountain. He is decked in celestial ornaments. He hath 1,000 heads. His tongues are blazing like flames of fire, and he is endued with great strength. There dwell in happiness innumerable Nagas, sons of Surasa, possessed of diverse forms, and decked on ornaments of diverse kinds, bearing the signs of gems, swastika, circles, and drinking vessels. All of them endued with great strength are by nature fierce. Some have 1,000 heads, some 500, and some 3. And some have 2 heads, and some 5, and some have 7 faces, and all of them are possessed of huge bodies that resemble the mountains stretching over the earth. Millions and tens of millions are they, in fact uncountable, even as regards those of them that belong to a single race. Listen, however, to me as I name a few of the more famous ones amongst them. They are Vasuki, Takshaka, Karkataka, Dhanjaya, Kalia, Nahusha, Aswatara, Vakyakunda, Mani, Aparana, Kaga, Vamana, Elapatra, Kukura, Kukuna, Ayaka, Nandaka, Kalasa, Putaka, Kalilasaka, Pinjaraka, Airavata, Sumanmuka, Dadimuka, Sanka, Nanda, Upanandaka, Apta, Kotaraka, Siki, Nishtaraka, Titiri, Hashtibhadra, Kumuda, Mailapindika, the two Padmas, Pundarik, Pushpa, Mudgarapanaka, Karavera, Pitaraka, Samvrita, Rita, Pindara, Vilvapatra, Mushikada, Sirishaka, Dilipa, Sankashesha, Jyotishka, Aparajita, Kuravya, Dhritarashtra, Kuhara, just a few, Krishaka, Virajas, Dharana, Savahu, Mukara, Jaya, Vidira, Anda, Visundi, Virasa, and Sarasa. These, and many others, there are amongst the sons of Kashyapa. See, O Matali, if there is anybody here whom thou canst elect. Kanwa continued. Matali, meanwhile, had been looking attentively at a person that stood by. And after Narada had ceased speaking, the celestial charioteer, with gratified mind, asked the Rishi, saying, Of what race is he, the delighter, that comely youth of great radiance, who standeth before Aryaka of Kauravya's line? Who is his father, and who is his mother? Of what Naga race is he? Indeed, of what line doth he stand as a high flagstaff? In consequence of his intelligence, his patience, his beauty, and his youth, my heart, O celestial Rishi, hath been attracted towards him. That youth will make the best of husbands for my Gunakashi. Kanwa continued. Beholding Matali's gratification at seeing the Naga called Sumukha, Narada informed him of the nobility of his parentage and of his feats. And he said, born in the race of Airavata, this prince of Nagas is named Sumukha. He is the favourable grandson of Aryaka and the daughter's son of Vamana. The father of this youth was, O Matali, the Naga called Chikura. Not long before was he slain by Vinata's son. Hearing this, Matali became highly pleased, and addressing Narada, the charioteer said, This best of Nagas is, O sire, very acceptable to me for a son-in-law. Make an endeavour to secure him, for I am highly pleased at the thought of bestowing on this Naga, O Muni, my dear daughter. Section 104. Narada then said, This one is the charioteer of the name Matali. He is besides a dear friend of Sakra. Pure in conduct, he hath an excellent disposition and possesses numerous virtues. Endued with strength of mind, he hath great energy and great might. He is the friend, counsellor, and charioteer of Sakra. It has been seen in every battle that small is the difference that exists between him and Vasava as regards prowess and strength. In all the battles between the gods and the Asuras, it is this Matali that driveth, by his mind alone, that ever victorious and best of cars belonging to Indra, which is drawn by 1,000 steeds. Vanquished by his management of the steeds, the enemies of the gods are subjugated by Vasava by the use of his hands. Defeated beforehand by Matali, the Asuras are subsequently slain by Indra. Matali have an excellent daughter, who in beauty is unrivaled in the world. Truthful and possessed of every accomplishment, she is known by the name of Gunakeshi. He was searching the three worlds for an eligible bridegroom. O thou that art possessed of the splendour of the celestial, thy grandson, Sumukha, hath become acceptable to him as a husband for his daughter. If, O best of serpents, his proposal be acceptable to thee, quickly make up thy mind, O Aryaka, to take his daughter in gift for thy grandson. As Lakshmi in Vishnu's house, or Swaha in that of Agni, so let the slender-waisted Gunakeshi be a wife in thy race. Let Gunakeshi therefore be accepted by thee for thy grandson, like Sachi for Vasava, who deserveth her. Although this youth had lost his father, yet we choose him for his virtues, and for the respectability of Airavata and thy own. Indeed, it is in consequence of Sumukha's merits, his disposition, purity, self-restraint, and other qualifications, that Matali hath become himself desirous of giving away his daughter unto him. It behoveth thee, therefore, to honour Matali. Kanwa continued, thus addressed by Narada, Aryaka, beholding his grandson elected as a bridegroom, and remembering the death of his son, was filled with delight and sorrow at the same time. And he then addressed Narada and said, How, O celestial Rishi, can I desire Gunakeshi for a daughter-in-law? It cannot be, O great Rishi, that thy words are not highly honoured by me. For who is there that would not desire an alliance with the friend of Indra? I hesitate, however, O great Muni, in consequence of the instability of the very cause that would not make that alliance lasting. O thou of great effulgence, the author of this youth, my son, hath been devoured by Garuda. We are afflicted with sorrow on that account, but worse still, O Lord, Vinata's son, at the time of leaving these regions, said, After a month I will devour this Sumukha also. Surely it will happen as he had said, for we know with whom we have to deal. At these words, therefore, of Suparna, we have become cheerless. Kanwa continued. Matali then said unto Aryaka, I have formed a plan. This, thy grandson, is elected by me as my son-in-law. Let this Naga, then, proceeding with me and Narada, come to the Lord of Heaven, the chief of the celestials, O best of Nagas. I shall then endeavour to place obstacles in the way of Suparna, and as a last resource, we will ascertain the period of life that hath been vouchsafed to Sumukha. Blessed be thou, O Naga. Let Sumukha, therefore, come with me to the presence of the Lord of the Celestials. Saying this, they took Sumukha with them, and all the four, endued with great splendour, coming to heaven, beheld Sakra, the chief of the gods, seated in all his glory. And it so happened that the illustrious Vishnu of 4 arms was also present there. Narada then represented the whole story about Matali and his choice. Kanwa continued. Hearing all that, Narada said, Vishnu directed Purandara, the Lord of the universe, saying, Let Amrita be given to this youth, and let him be made immortal like gods themselves. Let Matali and Narada and Sumukha, O Vasava, all attain their cherished wish through thy grace. Purandara, however, reflecting on the prowess of Vinata's son, said unto Vishnu, Let Amrita be given unto him by thee. Thus addressed, Vishnu said, Thou art the Lord of all mobile and immobile creatures. Who is there, O Lord, that would refuse a gift that may be made by thee? At these words, Sakra gave unto that Naga length of days. The slayer of Val and Vritra did not make him a drinker of Amrita. Sumukha, having obtained that boon, became Sumukha in reality, for his face was suffused with marks of joy. Literally, one that hath a beautiful or excellent face. And having married Matali's daughter, he cheerfully returned home. And Narada and Aryaka, also filled with delight at the success of their object, went away after having worshipped the glorious chief of the Celestials. Madan, would you like to read?
There's Dina
Oh,
still to
Dina.
have a go.
Sorry, Dina.
Dina, it's your turn. Section CV.
I'm with it.
Okay. Thank you, Guna. That was wonderful.
Thank you, Gun. That was really nice. Yeah, thanks.
Lovely. That's right, lovely.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kanwa said, Meanwhile, O Bharat, mighty Garuda heard what had happened. The bestowal by Shakra of length of days on the Naga Sumukha, and inflamed with great anger, that ranger of the firmament, Suparna, smiting the three worlds by the hurricane caused by the flappings of his wings, quickly came to Vasava. And Garuda said, O illustrious one, disregarding me, why hast thou interfered with my sustenance? Having granted me a boon of thy own will, thou dost now withdraw it. The Supreme Lord of all creatures hath, from the beginning, ordained what my food is to be. Why dost thou then stand in the way of that divine decree? I had selected this great Naga and had fixed time for, O God. I had intended to offer the meat of his body as sustenance to my numerous progeny. When he, therefore, hath obtained a boon from thee, and hath become indestructible by me, how can I henceforth dare kill another of his species? Dost thou sport thus, O Vasava, as thou listest? I, however, shall have to die, as all the members of my family and the servants whom I have engaged in my house. That will, I think, gratify thee, O Vasava. Indeed, O slayer of Vala and Vritara, I deserve all this, nay more, since being the lord of the three worlds in might, I yet consented to become the servant of another. O monarch of the three worlds, Vishnu, however, is not the only cause of my inferiority, for though, O Vasava, I am quite thy equal, yet the sovereignty of the three worlds rests upon thee. O chief of the celestials, like thee, I have also a daughter of Daksha, for my mother, and Kashyapa, for my father. Like thee, I also can, without any fatigue, bear the weight of the three worlds. I have strength that is immeasurable and incapable of being resisted by any creature. In the war with the Dyatas, I also achieved grand feats. Shruta Shri and Shruta Sena, and Vivashvat, and Rochanamukha, and Prashrura, and Kalakaksha, amongst the sons of Diti, was slain by me. Perching yet on the flagstaff of thy younger brother's car, I carefully protect it in battle. And sometimes also I bear that brother of thine on my back. It is perhaps for this that thou disregardest me. Who else in the universe is there that is capable of bearing such heavy burdens? Who is there that is stronger than myself? Superior though I am, I yet bear on my back this younger brother of thine with all his friends. When, however, disregarding me, thou hast interfered with my foods. Thou hast, O Vasava, inflicted disgrace on me, like this younger brother of thine that had to hitherto been disgracing by me by making me bear him on my back. As regards thyself, O Vishnu, amongst all those endued with prowess and strength that have been born of Aditi's womb, thou art superior in strength. Yet thee I bear without any fatigue, with only one of my feathers. Think coolly then, O brother, who amongst us is stronger? Kanwa continued, hearing the proud words of that bird, foreshadowing danger, the bearer of the disco. Kanwa continued, hearing the proud words of that bird, foreshadowing danger, the bearer of the disc. Foreshadowing danger, the bearer of the discus, provoking Paksha still more, said unto him, though so very weak, why dost thou, O Garuda, yet regard thyself strong? O oviparous creature, it ill behoveth thee to vaunt thus in our presence. The three worlds united together cannot bear the weight of my body. I myself bear my own weight, and thine also. Come now, bear thou the weight of this one right arm of mine. If thou canst bear even this, thy boast would be regarded as reasonable. Saying this, the Holy One placed his arms on Garuda's shoulders. Thereupon, the latter fell down, afflicted with its weight, confounded and deprived of his senses, and Garuda felt that the weight of that one arm of Vishnu was as great as that of the entire earth with her mountains. Endued with might infinitely greater, Vishnu, however, did not afflict him much. Indeed, Achyuta did not take his life. That ranger of the sky, afflicted then by that immense weight, gasped for breath, began to cast off his feathers. With every limb weakened and utterly confounded, Garuda was almost deprived of his senses. The winged offspring of Vinata then, thus confounded and almost deprived of his senses, rendered utterly helpless, bowing unto Vishnu with bent head, feebly addressed him, saying, O illustrious Lord, the essence of that strength which sustains the universe dwelleth in this body of thine. What wonder, therefore, that I should be crushed down to the earth by a single arm of thine, stretched out in thy pleasure? It behoveth thee, O divine Lord, to forgive this winged creature that perches on thy flagstaff, this fool, intoxicated with pride of strength, but now rendered utterly helpless. Thy great strength, O divine Lord, was never known to me before. It was for this that I regarded my own might to be unequaled. Thus addressed, the illustrious Vishnu became gratified, and addressing Garuda with affection said, Let not thy behavior be such again. And saying this, Upendra threw Sumukha with the toe of his right foot, with the toe of his foot on Garuda's breast. And from that time, O king, Garuda hath ever lived in friendship with that snake. It was thus, O king, that mighty and illustrious Garuda, the son of Vinata, afflicted by the might of Vishnu, was cured of his pride. Kanwa continued, in the same way, O son of Gandhari, thou livest, O son, as long as thou approachest not the heroic sons of Pandu in battle. Who is there whom being that foremost of smiters, that mighty son of Vayu and Dhananjaya, the son of Indra, cannot slay in battle. Vishnu himself and Vayu and Dharma and the Ashwins, these gods are thy enemies, let alone an encounter with them. Thou art not competent even to look at them on the field. Therefore, O Prince, do not set thy heart upon war. Let peace be made through the agency of Vasudeva. It behooveth thee to save thy race thus. This great ascetic Narad witnessed with his own eyes the incident that I have to relate to thee, which shows the greatness of Vishnu, and know that this Krishna is that bearer of the discus and the mace. Vaishampayana continued, hearing these words of the Rishi, Duryodhana contracted his eyebrows and began to breathe heavily. And casting his eyes then on Radha's son, he burst out in a loud laughter. And setting at naught these words of the Rishi, that wicked wretch began to slap his thigh that resembled the trunk of an elephant. And addressing the Rishi, he said, I am, O great Rishi, precisely what the Creator hath made me. What is to be must be. What also have been ordained in my case must happen. I cannot act otherwise. What can these senseless declamations therefore avail? Next chapter, 91, is it? Janamejaya said,
96.
96. Janamejaya said, interminably wedded to evil, blinded by avarice.
106.
106, thank you. Blinded by avarice, addicted to wicked courses, resolved upon bringing destruction on his head, inspiring grief in the hearts of kinsmen, enhancing the woes of friends, afflicting all his well-wishers, augmenting the joys of foes, and treading the wrong path. Why did not his friends seek to restrain him? And why also did not that friend of the Kuru's race, the Holy One, with tranquil soul, or the grandsire, tell him anything from affection? Vaishampayana said, yes, the Holy One did speak. Bhishma also spoke what was beneficial, and Narad too said much. Listen to all these said. Listen to all these. Listen to all that these said. I've got new glasses, so not that brilliant. You have to. Vaishampayana continued. Narad said, persons that listen to the counsels of friends are rare. Friends, again, are rare that offer beneficial counsels. For a friend in need of counsel is never there where a friend offering counsel is. O son of Kuru's race, I think the word of friends ought to be listened to. Obstinacy ought to be avoided, for it is fraught with great evil. In this connection, it is cited an old story regarding Galavas having met with disgrace through obstinacy. In ancient times, in order to test Vishwamrita, who was then engaged in ascetic austerities, Dharma personally came to him. Having assumed the form of the Rishi, Vaishashishta, thus assuming, O Bharat, the form of one of the 7 Rishis, and feigning himself hungry and desirous of eating, he came, O king, to the hermitage of Koshaka. Thereupon Vishwamitra, struck with awe, began to cook charu, which was a preparation of rice and milk. And in consequence of the care he took in preparing that excellent food, he could not properly wait upon his guest. And it was not till after the guest had dined on the food offered by the other hermits that Vishwamitra succeeded in approaching him with the charu he had cooked, which was still steaming. I have already dined, wait here, were the words of that Holy One said. And after having said that, the Holy One went away. And thereupon the illustrious Vishwamitra king waited there, and bearing that food on his head and holding it with his arms, that ascetic of rigid vow, stood in his hermitage, still as a post, subsisting on air. And as he stood there, an aesthetic of the name Gulliver, from motives of respect and reverence of him, and from affection and desire of doing what was agreeable, began to wait upon him. And after 100 years had passed away, Dharma again, assuming the form of Vashishta, came to Kaushika from desire of eating. And beholding that great rishi, Vishvamitra, who was endued with high wisdom, standing there with that food on his head, himself subsisting all the while on air, Dharma accepted that food, which was still warm and fresh. And having eaten that food, the god said, "Gratified am I, O regenerate rishi." And saying this, he went away. And at those words of Dharma, Vishvamitra divested of Kshatriyahood, because endued with the status of a Brahmana, and was filled with words of Dharma. Vishvamitra divested of Kshatriyahood, because endued with this, and filled with the delight, and pleased as he was with the services and devotion of his discipline, the ascetic Gulliver, Vishvamitra addressed him and said, "With my leave, O Gulliver, go whithersoever thou mayest wish." Thus commanded by his preceptor, Gulliver, highly pleased, said in a sweet voice unto Vishvamitra, of great effulgence, "What final gift shall I make thee in consequence of the services as preceptor? O giver of honours, it is in consequence of the final present that a sacrifice becomes successful. The giver of such gifts obtains emancipation. Indeed, these gifts constitute the fruit that one enjoys in heaven. They are regarded as peace and tranquility personified. What therefore shall I procure for my preceptor? Oh, let that be said." The illustrious Vishvamitra knew that he had really been conquered by Gulliver by means of the latter's services. And the rishi therefore sought to dismiss him by repeatedly saying, "Go, go." But thou repeatedly commanded by Vishvamitra to go away. Gulliver still addressing him, saying, "What shall I give?" And seeing this obstinacy on the part of the aesthetic Gulliver, Vishvamitra felt a slight rise of anger and said at last, "Give me 800 steeds, every one of which should be as white as the rays of the moon, and every one of which should have one ear black. Go now, O Gulliver, and tarry not." The story of Vishvamrita's promotion to the status of a Brahmana is highly characteristic. Engaged in a dispute with the Brahmana rishi Vaishishth, Vishvamrita, who was a Kshatriya king, the son of Kaushika, found by bitter experience that Kshatriya energy, a might backed by the whole science of arms, availed nothing against a Brahmana's might. For Vashishta, by his aesthetic powers, created myriads and myriads of fierce troops who inflicted a signal defeat on the great Kshatriya king. Baffled thus, Vishvamrita retired to the breast of Himavad and paid court to Shiva. The great god appeared, and Vishvamitra begged him for the mastery of the whole science of weapons. The god granted his prayer. Vishvamitra then came back and sought an encounter with Vashisht. But the latter, by the aid only of his Brahminical bamboo stick, baffled the fierce weapons of Vishvamitra, of even celestial efficacy. Humiliated and disgraced, Vishvamrita set his heart on becoming a Brahmana.
What chapter are you on, Dina?
Hey?
What chapter are you on?
Oh, sorry, I'm reading the footnote. Oh, gosh, sorry. I apologize.
Should be chapter CV, what I.
Oh, sorry.
So read that and then
I don't know if it's me, but your internet has been not very good, Dina, in this session. You've been freezing and off, on and off. I don't know if everyone's been seeing that, but anyway, it's all right. Carry on. The sound has been fine. It's just been the video.
Yeah. So section 107. Read that, and then we'll wrap it up. Huh?
Narad said, thus addressed by Vishwamitra of great intelligence, Gulliver was filled with such anxiety that he could not sit or lie down or take his food. A prey to anxiety and regret, lamenting bitterly and burning with remorse, Gulliver grew pale and was reduced to a skeleton. And smitten with sorrow, O Suryodhana, he indulged in these lamentations. Where shall I find affluent friends? Where shall I find money? Have I any savings? Where shall I find 800 steeds of lunar whiteness? What pleasure can I have in eating? What happiness can be mine in objects of enjoyment? The very love of life is extinct in me. What need have I of life? Repairing to the other shore of that great ocean, or to the furthest verge of the earth, I will relinquish my life. Of what use can life be to me? What happiness without severe exertion can be his who is poor, unsuccessful, deprived of all the good things of life, and burdened with debt? Death is preferable to life as regards him who, having enjoyed the wealth of friends through their friendship for himself, is unable to return their favor. The religious acts of that man lose their efficacy, who, having promised to do an act, fails to perform it, and is thus stained with falsehood. One that is stained by falsehood cannot have beauty, or children, or power, or influence. How, therefore, can such a one attain to the blissful state? What ungrateful man hath ever earned fame? Where indeed is his place? Where is his happiness? An ungrateful person can never win esteem and affection. Salvation can never be his. He that is destitute of wealth is a wretch that can scarcely be said to live. Such a wretch cannot support his kinsmen and friends, unable to make any return for the benefits he receiveth. He certainly meeteth with destruction. Even I am that wretch, ungrateful, destitute of resources, and stained with falsehood. For having obtained my objects from my preceptor, I am unable to do his bidding. Having first endeavored to the utmost, I will lay down my life. Before this, I never craved for anything from the gods. The deities regard me for this sacrificial place. I will go and seek the protection of Vishnu, the divine lord of all the three worlds, of Krishna, the great refuge of all who are blessed with protection. Bowing down unto him, I desire to see that the highest of all aesthetics, the eternal Krishna, from whom flow all those possessions and enjoyments that are owned by gods, by both gods and asuras. And while Gulliver was thus lamenting, his friend Garuda, the son of Vinata, appeared in his sight. And Garuda, from desire of doing him good, cheerfully addressed him, saying, Thou art a dear friend of mine. It is the duty of a friend, when himself in prosperity, to look to the accomplishment of the wishes of his friends. The prosperity that I have, O Brahmana, is constituted by Vasava's younger brother Vishnu. Before this, I spoke to him on thy behalf, and he hath been pleased to grant my wishes. Come now, we will go together. I will bear thee comfortably to the other shore of the ocean, or to the furthest extremity of the earth. Come, O Gulliver, do not tarry.
Jai Shri Hari.
Section 106.
Okay, Hari Hari. I'll turn off the video there. I'll stop recording then.
Yeah.
The audio